And the best part, you get to eat your creations when you're done. So, are you ready? Let's get our engine started and dive right into this sweet, sweet project. First up, let's go over our mechanics toolkit, or in this case, our ingredients and supplies. The main body of our car will be a rectangular snack cake. I'm using these classic cream-filled ones, but you can use brownies, rice, cereal treats, or any firm rectangular cake you like. For the wheels, we need 4 round cookies or candies for each car. I've got some chocolate sandwich cookies and some mint candies. Mini cookies work great too. For the axles, pretzel sticks are absolutely perfect. They're sturdy and add a nice salty crunch. Next, you'll need a driver for your race car. I'm using gummy bears, but you can use any small gummy candy like a Sour Patch Kid or even a gumdrop. To hold everything together, we'll need some glue, which will be our frosting. I've got a tube of white frosting here, which is super easy to use, but you can also use melted chocolate or even peanut butter if you prefer. Finally, for decorations, the sky's the limit. I have some sprinkles, mini chocolate chips, and some colorful small candies to add some flair to our race cars. Go ahead and gather all your delicious parts, and let's get ready to build. All right, let's start the assembly line. The first step is to prepare our car's chassis. Take your snack cake and place it on a plate or a piece of parchment paper. This will be your workspace and will help keep things tidy. Now, take your tube of frosting and apply a small dab on the top of the snack cake, a little bit back from the front. This is where our driver will sit. Gently press your gummy bear driver into the frosting so he's sitting securely in his seat. Look at that, our car already has a pilot. Now it's time to add the wheels. This part can be a little tricky, so take your time. We're going to use our pretzel sticks as axles. Carefully push one pretzel stick through the lower part of the snack cake from one side to the other, near the front. Be gentle so you don't break the cake. You want the pretzel to stick out equally on both sides. Now, do the same thing with another pretzel stick near the back of the cake. You should now have 2 axles. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, we're shifting gears and taking on a project that's fast, fun, and absolutely delicious. We're going to create an amazing race car cake. This tutorial is perfect for birthday parties, celebrations for car enthusiasts, or just when you want to make something that truly wows. I'll take you through every single step, from baking the perfect cake base to sculpting the body and adding all those cool high-speed details. Don't worry if you're a beginner. I'll break everything down so you can follow along easily. By the end of this video, you'll have the skills and confidence to create your very own edible masterpiece that looks like it just crossed the finish line. So grab your apron, preheat your oven, and let's get this race started. First things first, let's talk about the foundation of our race car, the cake itself. For a project like this, you need a cake that's not only tasty, but also sturdy enough for carving. I highly recommend a dense pound cake or a firm chocolate mud cake. These recipes hold their shape beautifully and won't crumble when you start sculpting. I've already baked 2 rectangular 9 by 13-inch cakes and let them cool completely. This is a crucial step. Never try to carve a warm cake. It will just fall apart. Once they're cool, I like to wrap them in plastic wrap and chill them in the fridge for at least a few hours or even overnight. This makes them extra firm and much easier to work with. For my cake today, I'm using my go-to vanilla pound cake recipe, which I'll link in the description box below. It's rich, moist, and tastes incredible. Okay, our cakes are chilled and ready for action. Let's get to the fun part, shaping our car. I'm placing one of the rectangular cakes on my cake board. This will be the main chassis of our car. The second cake is what we'll use to build the top part, the cabin of the car. I'm going to cut this second cake in half lengthwise. Now, I'll take one of these halves and place it on top of the base cake, a little towards the back. This creates that classic car silhouette. Don't worry about it being perfect just yet. Take a serrated knife and start carefully carving away the sharp edges. Think about the sleek aerodynamic shape of a race car. You want to round the front to create the hood or bonnet and taper the back. I'm also going to gently slope the windshield area. Take your time with this process. It's better to carve away small pieces at a time than to take off too much at once. Remember, you can always remove more, but you can't add it back. Keep stepping back to look at your cake from all angles to make sure the shape is balanced and looks like a real car. Once you're happy with the basic shape, it's time to create a smooth surface for our fondant. This is where the crumb coat comes in. A crumb coat is a thin layer of buttercream that traps all the loose crumbs so they don't get into your final layer of icing. I'm using a simple vanilla buttercream here. Using an offset spatula, apply a thin, even layer of buttercream all over the cake. You want to cover every surface, filling in any small gaps or imperfections from your carving. The goal isn't to make it look pretty, it's purely functional. Once the entire cake is covered, pop it back into the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour. You want that buttercream to be firm to the touch. This step is the secret to getting that super clean, professional finish, so don't skip it. It creates a perfect canvas for the fondant we'll be adding next. While our cake is chilling, let's prepare our fondant. For our race car, I've chosen a vibrant red fondant for the body. You can, of course, choose any color you like. I am going to knead the fondant on a surface lightly dusted with powdered sugar or cornstarch until it's soft and pliable. This prevents it from sticking. Now, we need to roll it out into a large sheet that's big enough to cover the entire cake. I'm aiming for a thickness of about 1/8 of an inch. You don't want it too thick, or it will be hard to work with, but you also don't want it too thin, or it might tear once it's rolled out. I gently lift it with my rolling pin and carefully drape it over our chilled crumb-coated cake. Starting from the top, I use my hands to smooth the fondant down the sides of the cake, gently pressing it into all the curves and contours we carved earlier. Use a fondant smoother to get a really polished, bubble-free finish. Once it's all smooth, take a sharp knife or a pizza cutter and trim away the excess fondant around the base of the cake. Look at that. We have a beautiful, sleek car body. Now, for the details that will bring our race car to life. Let's start with the wheels. I'm using black fondant for the tires. I'll roll it out a bit thicker than the red fondant, about 1/4 inch. I'm using a round cookie cutter to cut out 4 identical circles. To make them look more like tires, I'm using a modeling tool to gently press a line around the edge to create a tread pattern. For the rims, I'm using a small circle of grey fondant in the center of each wheel. I'll attach these to the car using a tiny bit of water or edible glue. Place 2 on each side, right where the wheels should be. Next up, let's add some windows. I'm rolling out some black fondant very thinly and cutting out shapes for the windshield and side windows. Again, a little water is all you need to stick them on. Don't they already make a huge difference? Let's add more of those classic race car features. I'm creating a spoiler for the back using some of our leftover red fondant. I'm shaping it into a long flat rectangle and attaching 2 small supports to lift it off the back of the car. This little detail adds so much character. Next, let's add some headlights and taillight. I'm using small circles of yellow fondant for the front and red for the back. We can also add a grille on the front using a small piece of grey or black fondant. I like to use a tool to press a grid pattern into it for a more realistic look. Now for the fun stuff, the racing stripes and numbers. I'm rolling out white fondant very thinly and cutting 2 long, straight strips. I'll place these down the center of the car from the hood all the way to the back. And of course, every race car needs a number. Let's go with a lucky number 7. ILL. Cut that out of the same white fondant and place it on the hood and the sides of the car. You can personalize this with the birthday person's favorite number or age. We're on the final lap. It's time for the finishing touches that will make our cake a true champion. I'm going to add some sponsor logos, just like a real race car. You can get really creative here. I am cutting out small shapes from different colored fondants to create my own fun logos and placing them on the sides. Another cool detail is adding exhaust pipes. I am just rolling 2 small cylinders of grey fondant and sticking them to the back or sides of the car to give our car a glossy showroom shine. You can gently brush the entire cake with a little bit of clear alcohol, like vodka, which will evaporate, or a clear edible glaze. This makes the colors pop and gives it a professional finish. Finally, I'm going to add a checkered flag pattern to the cake board itself. I'm cutting out small squares of black and white fondant and arranging them around the base of the cake. This really completes the racetrack theme and makes for a stunning presentation. And there you have it, a show-stopping race car cake ready to take the checkered flag at your next celebration. Let's take a closer look at all the details. We've got our sleek carved body, the bold racing stripes, the custom number, shiny wheels, and even a spoiler. Every element comes together to create a cake that's not just a dessert, but a centerpiece. I hope this tutorial has inspired you and shown you that you can totally tackle a project like this. It's all about breaking it down into simple, manageable steps. Imagine the look on someone's face when you present them with this incredible creation. All the products and tools I use today are listed in the description box below. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen today. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to see more creative cake designs, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our next adventure. Happy baking, everyone!